Welcome, everybody, to our presentation on the evolution of our billing and fee structure, as well as our discussion of tuition rates for the 25-26 school year. I'm Tom Shepard, head of school, and joining me today are O'Neill Turner, director of enrollment management, and Devin Frank, associate head of school for finance and operations. I'd like to turn it over to Devin Frank to get us started on today's presentation.
Thanks, Tom. So we'll go over this presentation. So we'll have an overview of the challenge to solve. So this is sort of a, why are we bringing this to you today? We'll have a look at the data that we've gathered, which is based on feedback from parent responses. And then we'll be able to go over our proposed solution. So the challenge we're trying to solve. So, as I started to get myself familiar with our fees, either through digging into our billing cycles and kind of our fax billing system and getting different various levels of feedback from our parents and community, it became really apparent to me that I felt like our fees were not dissimilar to this picture here on the right? So if I look at it, we have a lot of different fees that we charge, from athletics to middle school gym outfits to various books and activities. So, and it runs through a lot of different people and processes. So we do have this fax billing system. We have a lot of different areas that we collect fees that run through our systems or don't run through our systems. So when you have a lot of fees and it runs through a lot of processes, it really runs the risk of not living up to a standard of excellence that we set for ourselves at University Liggett School. So, I was able to sort of sense some frustration from some of the feedback that I received. That then put us on this journey to look at this, to reach out to our parents and see if we can provide additional clarity and certainty around our fee processes. So, the challenge we're trying to solve here is, can we more centralize our fees? That reduces our risks and costs. Those are risks and costs that ultimately, flow through to our parents. So we want to be respectful. The timing amount is often unpredictable. So can we help make these, right in our contract so that the amounts are known and can be planned for appropriately? We want to make sure that we have good fraud prevention and error prevention procedures. So, if we're handing cash or checks, and those are transferring hands, if we can eliminate that, then it's the loss opportunity for things to get lost or not accounted for. And then we wanted to really correlate these fees to the payment plans, enrollment contracts. So when you sign the enrollment contract, you have a really good sense of what it costs for a ULS education and can roll that right into those payment plans. So this is my visual of what I saw when I looked into our fees. So here's sort of a list of internal systems, internal processes, and then sort of external that in some ways never run through our operations. And you can see there, we have a lot of different fees that are listed. That gives you a sense of our different fees. This is not a comprehensive list, but then where they sort of fall in a risk range. So those internal systems where we run them through fax or the logo store, those are the most secure. And then external, so lacrosse would be a good example of, it's an agreement with 313 lacrosse that never flows through our processes. That increases your risk. So this is the problem that we saw when we reached out to you to get a sense of is this a challenge that's worth us tackling?
Thanks, Devin. It's clear that what Devin has been able to uncover it is very much both a risk internally and externally. And so in order for us to understand that from an external standpoint and point of view, we felt that it was important to contact the parents, because you are the ones that obtain these bills and fees. And we felt that you would be able to give us an accurate understanding of how these land in your inboxes. And so it's important for us to be able to gather those facts and then to synthesize them and put them into action, depending on how our constituents feel. It's important to note that we had about 20% response rate, which was effective enough for us to understand the feelings about how we do what we do and what we do. And on the scale from 1 to 10, yes, we do have a nice bell curve here, but as one of our core values is excellence, in our minds, anything lower than an 8 out of 10 gave us a lot of opportunity to improve. And so our guts were correct. Thank you for affirming that. It's important for us to know how we can grow, and you gave us an opportunity to understand that. So we offered 4 different options, and please understand that all 4 of these are either a small, medium, or large shift from where we have our current best practice. And so it's important to note that each of these takes a look at what we currently do and adjust them accordingly. And all of these resonated with each of the respondents. And we'll take a deeper dive into this data right now. So doing the math and hearing what you had to say, both from a data standpoint and anecdotally, 73% of you want some sort of either comprehensive fee or a fee bundling option that would allow for more predictability in budgeting from a family's financial standpoint. And that's clear. So additionally, from the internal understanding of how we collect all of these, it mirrored our opportunity to have our fee and billing structure evolve externally for the families.
So this is a list of what we've incorporated into our comprehensive fee and what we've not incorporated into our comprehensive fee. So included would be school books, including those middle school and upper school books that would have either flown through our fax system or been purchased through Amazon. Any of our required activity fees, supplies, or technology fees. So I think these are typically sent out each November or December that are corresponding to the grades. Those have now all been included here. A parent association fee that creates a events budget for our parents association, and then our PE uniforms and middle school activities. So these are all kind of low dollar fees that we flow out at different periods of the year that I think are valuable for us to be able to bundle and reduce the administrative burden for both you and us. Not included here is our upper school athletic equipment, our transportation fee, our aftercare summer program and after school classes, our tuition and refund insurance, which is part of our contract, and our optional trips, so like our China trip. So what I think kind of unites our included versus our excluded is those excluded fees are things that are optional and not part of the core ULS curriculum. So this then moves us into our 2025-2026 tuition fees schedule. So the movement from 2024-25 tuition to 25-26 tuition is a 4% increase across the board, which is a 1% decrease to our increase from the prior year. And then you can see here to the right then is our comprehensive fee. So you can see what it is for our early childhood through upper school. And how we came up with those is we looked at the various supplies, books, PE costs, and PTA fee, and then bundled those together. So that flows outside of our insurance, outside of our tuition. But because we know what it is up front, we can put it right into our contract and apply it to our various payment plans. So this looks at our peer schools and looks at a 5-year average of tuition increases for those schools. So what I want to be able to point out here is that our 4% increase is slightly below our historic 5-year average and is in line with our peer institutions over this historic period of time.
One of the changes that we also felt was necessary, given anecdotal and data-driven feedback, was how is this going to translate to a family's finances? And predictability and support are key as we partner with you, whether it's curriculum or how we bundle the costs of a ULS education. And so what you'll see here on the left-hand column are the consistent options that we have provided you to help give you some flexibility in how you pay for a ULS education. And then in the 24-25 column, you should see some familiarity in terms of which payment plan you're on, how it is delivered to you, and then what were the requirements in terms of tuition refund insurance. Given all the data we've collected, the 25-26 area is showing our changes, particularly in red. And one of the things that we have done is we have eliminated the tuition refund insurance requirement for the 2-payment plan and the 4-payment plan. Another change that we have made is in the monthly payment plan. And that is that it will now end in February. So it does reduce the number of months, but they are predictable, and it gives you a 2-month reprieve in March and April where tuition payments are not collected. In addition, the tuition refund insurance, though it's required, will not be a lump sum at some point in the year, but we will spread out those costs over the monthly payment plans. And so it's important to know that we want to make sure that this is predictable for you and that you as a family can budget for these accordingly and eliminate as many surprises as we possibly can.
And with that, everybody, if you have questions, thoughts, or comments in the days and weeks ahead, please feel reach out to O'Neill or Devin. And also, just to look ahead, next Monday, February 3rd, we'll have our first of 2 family webinars this year, in which we'll preview a number of exciting developments to the ULS educational program for the 25-26 school year. So we hope you can join us for that, as well as we look ahead to re-enrollment contracts coming out in the very near future. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.